whatever you like, whatever them do me.
So, in regards to Only the Strong, you got Mark Cass. Did you call up Paco Prieto?
Wait, Mark wasn't cast yet.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay.
No. We had to uh, I'll go back a little. We were trying to raise the money to do the movie, and uh, and Gregory and Sammy actually went to Harvey Weinstein's, who had the company called Dimension Films back then. Dimension was doing the genre stuff for Miramax, and uh, Harvey and Bob, his brother, they were kind of interested in Only the Strongs. Genre movie fits right into what we're trying to do, and so I had lunch with Harvey Weinstein, and they were interested, but they only wanted to put in enough money to get the budget up to $5 million. Now, I felt, and we did some, we did some budgets, trying to number of days we needed and everything else, and I felt we needed $6 million. And I told this to Gregory and Sammy. That I think we need $6 million, and Harvey was on the road to go up to 5. So I kind of put my foot down. I said, I don't think 5's enough to make the movie. I think we need that extra million. So basically, Dimension, Miramax, Harvey Weinstein went away. But then Gregory Cascanti had some kind of contact with 20th Century Fox. All right. Even a bigger company than Dimension. And Fox was interested. Why were they interested? Well, they had just lost Brandon Lee. Yeah. Brandon Lee had a tragic accident. And they were building Brandon up to be a big star. He did Rapid Fire for them. And I'm not sure if he did that one with Dolph. Showdown. I'm not sure if that was Fox, but for sure, Rapid Fire was Fox. So so they're looking at Mark Dacascos and really strong, and this might be a way to get back into the Brandon Lee business, but without Brandon Lee. So let's consider this. But they weren't completely sold yet because they didn't know enough about Mark. You want to see Mark Dacascos? So we got to look at American Samurai, this Cannon film. So we decided that we're going to shoot a screen test with Mark. I can't remember whose idea it was, but we all just decided this is a good idea. Let's shoot a screen test. Let's shoot it on 35 millimeter. Let's bring in like a real 35 millimeter camera. Let's do some action scenes. The actors for him to act against them. And let's do some action scenes. Let's do some gymnastics, things like that. And we shot all this on 35 millimeter film. They got the film process, got it over to 20th Century Fox. So our two executives at Fox who were going to be shepherding this project. One of them was Peter Rice, who was the nephew of why am I blanking on his name now? The head of Fox. Crap. I don't know right now, huh?
Normally, I can help. We're all Lemo and Monday. We're all Blizzard Murdoch. Okay.
All right. He was the nephew of Rupert Murdoch, which is how he got his vision. Although then, afterwards, he ended up being the head of Fox, Peter Rice. So back to that, he was just one of our executives on this potential project, Only the Strong. There's another guy from Fox named Jorge Sarlady, who's also moved on and gotten much bigger. So we had Peter and Jorge were our production executives if they decided to make the movie. And so they wanted to see this footage of Mark, 35 millimeter footage, which they put on in a screening room. They had a number of screening rooms at Fox. They put them on one of the smaller screening rooms. And Rupert Murdoch just happens to be walking by, and says, "Hey guys, what are you looking at there in that steering wheel?" "Oh, we're looking at this new kid, Mark Dacascos, who they want to put in this movie Only the Strong." "Okay, let me sit down and take a look. Okay, let me watch some of this." So Rupert Murdoch, the head of the whole conglomerate, sits down, watches, and he's probably thinking the same thing, like, "Oh, here's a good replacement for Brandon Lee." Anyways, he watches, he watches the footage, and he says, "Okay, I wanna sign this guy to a deal." They wanna sign him for, like, 3 pictures, I believe.
Rupert Murdoch said.
Rupert Murdoch, we're talking like
It doesn't get better.
it doesn't get bigger.
Again, this is another story, sorry to interject, of stars aligning.
Correct.
I mean, the head guy of the corporation is walking down the corridor.
Right.
Looks in the door. They like me.
"Hey, what are you guys looking at?"
Yeah, what are you looking at?
"Okay, let me watch a few minutes." Okay, and, so now he says, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do this movie." So now Fox says, "Okay, we're gonna come in for $6 million." And we're pretty much off to the races because now we have our budget. We could have made the movie for less, but I was just really digging my heels in and saying, is that, as I've been in other situations where we don't have quite enough money to do what we really need to do, and I knew that extra minute was going to make a big difference, and it did.
So he was the first to be cast, though? Mark was first cast?
Yeah,
Yeah, was it Rupert Murdoch? Have you heard or do you know, was it Rupert Murdoch who said, that's the guy?
well,
Like maybe behind the scenes?
I wasn't in the room, but basically what I heard was that Rupert Murdoch said, yeah, that he's the one who wanted to sign Mark to a multi-picture deal.
And nobody's going to argue.
Listen, oh, well, we did have somebody arguing. That was Mark's fucking manager, his idiot manager, who was fighting us on this the whole time.
Hold on, he's fighting on what? Rupert Murdoch wanting to sign him?
What? 20th Century Fox wanted to sign Mark for a multi-picture deal.
That's a major
motion picture
studio.
She had some irons in the fire, which was probably like toothpicks. Okay, but she won. She didn't want Mark to get snatched up through somebody else's doing. Basically, through me saying, "Okay, let's shoot a screen test. Let's show it at Fox." So now Fox wants to they wanted to make I believe it was a 3-picture deal.
Well, here's an interesting thing. Any actor that happens to get leaps and bounds ahead. When Jean-Claude did Buzz 4 and those movies, they were done by Canada, 1.5 million.
Right.
Yes, it's a studio, but it's a small independent studio compared to Fox or Paramount.
Right.
Jeff Speakman gets perfect random screen like in The Expert with Paramount. Major motion picture.
Right.
Mark Dacascos is getting potentially a 6-picture deal.
No, it was a
3-picture deal.
I think it was a 3-picture
Fox. No, it was an age on. They have motion picture.
At the urging of Rupert Murdoch, because Rupert Murdoch is the one who said, let's sign this. What I heard was that he's the one who said, let's sign this kid to a multi-picture deal, because he knew that we've got this guy can step into Brandon Lee's shoes, and we can make Rapid Fire 2 or whatever. But I want this guy signed, and let's do that movie Only the Strong, and we'll give them the $6 million that they want. So
what happens with the manager?
Catherine didn't want to make the fucking deal. All right, and I got on the phone with Catherine, and Mark overheard the whole thing. Although I think maybe there was something in the cell phone. Mark was in there, and Mark overheard it. And I just lambasted Catherine. I said, what the fuck are you doing? I said, the 20th Century Fox, it's Rupert Murdoch. You can't say no to this. And she,
For your suicide, you do.
yeah, basically she was saying no. She's the one that really fucked up Mark's career, because she's the one that then, maybe this was going on in the background at the time, she's the one that put Mark in Double Drag.
But it was a terrible, horrible failure.
Yes, but what happened, and it fucked us because 20th Century Fox, they really loved Only the Strong. We did a test screen. I've still got the sheets from the test screen. Basically, we got like a 95%. Very good to excellent. You never get scores like that, but we got this huge score. Audience loved it. Completely the opposite of that screening of Sideboard, for example. Audience loved it. And then, yeah.
So did he sign the deal or she kiboshed it?
We had his idea of it's not included, and I had the fucking lambaste Catherine and in front of Mark, but I felt bad about that. But I think, but I was really,
Well, it shows you. I was you're fighting for the guy
I
now.
was really jumping down his throat because I think I had my agent at the time also held out in 20th Century Fox. So we've got this great fucking deal. All the client has done before is playing the villain in American Samurai. Uh, Now we got a deal with 20th Century Fox and you're trying to kill it. So then later on, she told his crew that's like getting in Double Dragon because I say Fox loved the film. We got great scores, test scores from the audience, and they were getting ready to do. I believe it was 12 cities in the U.S. These are 12 or 15. I still got the paperwork and the cities. They were going to send me and Marv and Paco on a promotion tour. Like I said, it was either 12 or 15 cities to promote only the Straussen. And they were going to push it big time, okay? But then
That would have made such a difference, man.
Mark couldn't do it because he was stuck doing Double Dragon.
So hold on, which was Double Dragon shot after Only the Strong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So while Only the Strong's in post-production, he's off shooting this, and by the time they're ready to release,
While Only the Strong is shooting, Catherine is making a deal with Imperial Entertainment for Mark to co-star in Double Dragon. Okay? He's making him a feature film for 20th Century Fox that he's starring in, and she's working a deal, which of course was going to enrich her because she would have gotten a commission off of that. She's making a deal with Imperial Entertainment to do Double Dragon with a completely unknown director who's only directed some music videos before. The coincidence ended up being that he's shooting Double Dragon right when Fox was planning to do a big promotional push for Honor the Strong.
so he's not even available to do the.
He was not available. No.
Did he do any cities?
Well, you did what? We did one city. Okay. Miami. Yeah.
Well, it was shot in Florida, right?
It's found in Miami. Yeah.
So what was your shoot schedule on Only the Strong? Because it's a very impressive. The fight scene.
I think it was 40 days. Yeah, you see, that's one of the reasons I was fighting for the extra money, right? Because I don't want to shoot this in 25 days. I need 40 days. Okay.
Now let me ask you this: there's a Miami is known for its culture and some gang culture as well.
Yeah.
Were there any problems, with that on set or anything like that?
Problems with what kind of
Like gang culture?
Oh yeah, we had one night we were shooting in a really sad part of town. I think it was called Overtown, which is infested with gangs, and yeah, we were being harassed by gangs. I'm the one that chose the location, and I kind of regret it. Although it was an awesome looking location, looked really nasty.
Now take us a little bit to the core, because this movie also has, to some extent, Frank Dukes involved.
Well, we were gonna have Frank Deuce's involvement, but so I'm the one who brought Frank in. I brought Frank in on a lot of things, and he screwed it up each time. We were talking about Rambo 3 earlier about the stick fight. Okay, I introduced Frank to Stallone. Okay, to help do the choreography on the stick fight. All right, and Frank somehow he totally blew that, and Stallone ended up going with Harold Doggett instead. Yeah, which is probably a good choice because Frank just would have totally fucked that up. So I introduced Frank to Stallone, and that didn't work out. And then I brought Frank in to do the fight choreography on Only the Strong, and he ended up just wasting everybody's time. Mark got sick of him within a few days because all he would do, rather than choreograph fights, he would just stand up in front of everybody and talk about creating wonderful with there.
And didn't he go on alligator tours and some shit like that? And
Boy, he one shot as well on the phone. Wasn't he in a shot on the phone or something?
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about
it's a night shoot. We spent a lot of time getting this thing set up, and I'm ready to say action, and the first AD says, "Well, hold on, somebody's walking through the set over out there, and here's Frank Dukes, the cell phone, walking right through the shop." Okay, and everybody says it's Frank. We're all tired.
yeah, the big old Zach Morris and Lon Quelle.
And yeah, there was one day when he was supposed to be helping out with the fight choreography, and nobody could find him. Okay, so he finally shows up. It was Frank. Where were you? Oh, the wrestling alligators.
I think he was watching somebody wrestling alligators. I don't think he was wrestling alligators.
Well, he had some Polaroids.
Oh, he was?
Yes, they had some Polaroids. These alligators are fucking 3 feet long. And then he wasn't wrestling, and he was just like posing with them. Hey, here's me and the alligators. So,
Well, he wasn't really the right pick to choreograph a capoeira movie because he didn't know much about capoeira.
he claimed that he did, and eventually, it didn't take Amen long to realize that he didn't know jack about capoeira. And actually, Amen did an interview with Viking Samurai talking about some of this. And you can see the interview. He says, this guy didn't know nothing about capoeira. And he didn't.
Let me ask you this: were there any times on set, like I know we had spoken in the past about Lionheart, where Paco accidentally got JC once? Were there any things like that on this set?
Yeah, Mark got, he had his own big party.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Now, did anybody ever get after it, like with some bad blood? You ever seen that on anything?
No,
Not like Dark was cool. That's good.
And the thing is with on Lionheart, basically, Paco was barefoot.
Yeah, he probably is sliding in the pool.
Yeah.
It's probably accident.
But now, for the fight in Only the Strong, he had these big ass boots on. Okay. And kind of hard to control your feet in these boots unless you really know how to do it. And ended up with one of these boots, like smacking Mark in the face.
Paco Prieto's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
6'2", probably 6'2".
Yeah.
And at that time, he was probably 192. He was a beast.
And he's a real badass too. Paco's a guy you don't want to fuck with this guy.
Well, that's what I was asking about the gang question. You got these guys that are playing these type of gang members. Did anybody ever get on there and try to, you hear those, stories in regards to like The Godfather and stuff. You have, real shit coming in and saying, you don't know what you're doing. Did any of that kind of jazz go down?
No. Of course, these gangbangers, you don't want to mess with them because they're bad. They've done guns. Yeah. And I think a few of our crew people had guns.
Yeah.
Because they were
Kind of scared.
they were like locals in Miami. Actually, a lot of the crew had worked on Miami Vice.
Okay.
Because that was the big show in Miami for a number of years. So, a lot of our crew people are, stunt coordinator Artie Maleshi worked on Miami Vice. So, the fights got worked out really between Amen, Artie Maleshi, and Mark Dacascos. Because Mark and Amen knew capoeira, and Artie was a real fight choreographer, had done Miami Vice, lots of stuff.
So how did you take care of Frank? Did you just keep him there the entire time?
Well, he got his ass kicked, and wasn't he in the suit with the?
Yes, he's in the.
He gets his ass kicked.
No, but I mean, did you keep him on the set?
No,
Irrelevant, right?
I very politely let him go, and I was being as polite as I could be about. Basically, he was fired. Okay, I didn't put it to him that way. I said, Frank, I got some good news for you. You're going to be back in L.A. in time for Thanksgiving. How can I do that? We still got some fight scenes to do. Like, oh, no, we really don't have, we've got all the fight scenes in the can, pretty much. We don't need you here, so you can go home. And so we ended up going home early at our, urging, and we carried on just fine without him. We had between our men and Artie and Mark, and plus Paco was no slouch when it came to fights either. And Paco actually did know a little bit of capoeira. In fact, he used some capoeira kicks in Lion Hub.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to hire him too. Because first of all, I like him because he became a friend, and he could fight, and he knew some capoeira. So we ended up getting him to play our bad guy, Cesario.
Now, have you done any audio commentaries or anything on new releases of Only the Strong, or has there been any new releases?
Has not.
Those initial editions not with.
No. And Luis and I keep trying to, get either 20th Century Clubs. It's Disney now. It's owned by Disney now. We were trying to get Peter Rice to help us out with this. Hey, Peter, you're a production executive on this. You're like the head of Fox now. How about getting Only the Strong released on special edition Blu-ray?
Yeah,
And he would say each time, like, of course, yeah, I'm working on that. We'll get it done. We talked to Sammy Adina about it. Sammy died a few years ago, so now we're stuck with his brother Victor Gadita, who's also got a producer title on the Only the Strong. And so Victor, how about special edition Blu-ray of Only the Strong? Oh yeah, absolutely, we're gonna do it. And he never does. He just drops the ball.
Yeah.
Sammy never would have dropped the ball. It would have been done if Sammy had still been alive. But unfortunately, we lost him.
So it's a good experience, man. Next up after Only the Strong was Perfect Target, correct?
Right.
So talk to us about that.
Okay.
It stars Daniel Bernhardt and again one of your old employees, Prime House.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of a long story. There was a guy named Alexander Tabrizi, who was trying to put the movie together. He had a script. It was called American Night, spelled Knigg. And he got in touch with my agent about me directing a movie that Daniel Bernhardt starred. So I guess he talked to Daniel already. So Daniel was on board. And we got some producers involved, Christian Solomon and his brother Lee Solomon, and they're the ones who came up with the money to do this. The script was not very good. They hired somebody to do a rewrite. The rewrite turned out terrible, and basically I said, the script is not worth shooting the way it is right now. Daniel was on board with it. He just wanted to do anything that he had star in. But the script didn't work. I brought in my friend George Saunders to rework the script, and we reworked it and came up with what I thought was a much better screenplay. Things started moving forward. I need a sip of water, Why, my voice really does run out of these long talks.
Well, there's a lot of info.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an audio book of
Right.
of your book.
Right. Although I was actually giving you guys a lot more information.
Yeah.
So, the Solomon brothers had some kind of a deal with somebody in Mexico. Jose Ludlow was his name. He was like a line producer in Mexico. So they wanted to shoot in Mexico, which is fine for me. And we had to rework the script a little bit. But rather than going through all the steps of how we got this movie happening, just mention some of the personalities that were involved with it. Because we had a pretty good crew, actually. We had Daniel brought in a few of the people that he worked with on those Bloodsport sequels. Number one was the guy who was the fight choreographer on those, and that was Chad Stahelski, who ended up directing all the John Wick movies. Okay, and he was really a great fight choreographer. I think
He's actually a great martial artist.
and martial artist too.
And David Lynch.
Yeah,
Both great martial artists.
he had an interesting story you told us also. He worked on some movie with Steven Seagal, and he said Steven Seagal was just unnecessarily brutal to some people. And Chad is one of the guys that Steven got brutal with. I don't know, messed up his stomach or something, but he did not like Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal got basically unnecessarily rough with him on something. But Chad ended up he was the best fight choreographer I'd ever worked with. He'd have a list, and he would run a list, small piece of paper. He'd write down all the moves that he wanted to do in order. And then basically, once we're done shooting the fight scenes, he'd just go through them one by one. Okay, now we're doing number 2. All right, now we move on to number 3. Down on the number 3. And he had the whole fight worked out in his head ahead of time. So we had him. We had Philip Tam, who I made the second unit director. Philip had been in a lot of movies. You guys know Philip?
Yes.
Yeah. So Philip, yeah, he talks a lot. He's a big talker, but he can really do moves also. And his son, Louis Tan, has been doing some good stuff. Louis Tan was like the co-star of Mortal Kombat 2, or the star. I think he might have been the star. Anyway, so we had Philip as our second unit director.
He was in Cobra Kai as well. So that's
Right. Yeah. We had what's the guy's name? Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund.
Yeah.
Yes, the producers wanted to get some names in there because Daniel Bernhardt wasn't really much of the name. All he really done was the Bloodsport sequels. So I brought Brian Thompson to their attention. And so we ended up having Brian, and Brian was very happy to work on the movie. Got to go down Mexico and had a great time there. And Robert Englund was, again, they needed some names. So to play our main villain, well, we got Robert Englund. I think he got like $10,000 a day or something. He didn't work the whole shoot, but he worked for like 10 days, then $100,000. What we had, they were able to save Robert Englund on the poster, on the video box.
How many days did you have to shoot it, Sean?
I'd have to look that up, but actually, I think I probably had 40 days on that one.
Would you have a big budget, small budget?
Small budget. Very small budget, yeah. We shot in Mexico, the entire film. We shot a lot of it in Puerto Vallarta. There was this cathedral in the middle of Puerto Vallarta, and the town plaza. And we were all over the cathedral. I saw that cathedral and him with a bunch of ideas, so we did a bunch of stuff on the cathedral. And in the town square, we had this big assassination scene that we did, which is a pretty spectacular scene, actually. From the low budget that we had Jose Ludlow crowd us people we needed. We had a pretty big crowd there. We had weapons, we had costume, we had everything. So the assassination scene is really worth seeing.
Yeah.
For that movie. There's a lot of good things in it.
Yeah.
The fights are all good because we had Chad choreographing, and Philip Tan was there.
We also have Daniel, who's Daniel's martial artist.
Daniel is a martial artist. Now the one disappointment for me, I wanted Paco to play the other main character, who was a cow, like a Mexican cow. And they wouldn't hire Paco. They were resistant to Paco.
What was the reason?
I can't tell you what the real reason was. I wouldn't be able to tell you. They said, well, he's not an actor. He can't act. So, well, actually, he can.
He can.
What's the show? He's pretty damn good. But But his wife came along, and she was coaching him, reading lines with him. But he can do this right.
Boldly pulling off.
I pretty much I pretty much wrote the role for him. I wanted him to play that character, and they brought in another guy who was good actor, nice guy, Jim Carrey, to play that role. But he was not a fighter.
Well, that actually blows my mind. I mean, you got Only the Strongest made for $6 million. And this was at a lower budget. What
Right.
you say the budget was? 1.5, 2?
It was probably like 3. Yeah.
3?
Yeah.
You got the main bad guy from Only the Strong. I mean,
Right.
come on, man.
They didn't want to do it. And Daniel also had some kind of there was some kind of animosity between Daniel and Park.
Okay, well, that was the problem.
That might have been
That was it. Prado is it?
I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling Daniel said, actually, Daniel did say to me, I don't like that guy. So Daniel had issues with Paco, and didn't want Paco to be in it. And the producers went along with that. So we ended up having this guy, Jim Carrey. Like I said, was a great, nice guy, very good actor. He couldn't fight, but Chad managed to
Pull off what he could.
pull off America with him.
Yeah.
So that worked out pretty well. But and then we had the girl. The girl was supposed to be Hispanic. Took place in this fictional South American country. And I had an actress picked out who I thought was terrific. She was pretty much unknown, though. She was a really good actress. And the producers ended up pushing this American actress on the I'm blanking on her name right now, but she was not Hispanic at all. She was Serbian, of all things. Okay. So I mean, she did okay in the movie, but the other girl, I think, would have been better. But basically, I got overridden on some key casting choices there. At least they let me keep Brian. And he comes off pretty well in the films.
Brian comes up pretty good in
Everything.
think about it. He came off great. I really liked him in Firefight.
Yes. Yeah, he was. He was a stand-up.
That stood out. I think that's a combination of him, his presence, and you. Sure. I loved him he's great in Lionheart. If he's Johnny for Lionheart, he's fabulous in Cobra. He is so believable in Cobra. He's actually scared.
Oh, he's scared.
But he's actually
That end scene at the end, before that fight, he's great. He's freaking phenomenal.
and you see him in this, he's fabulous.
And he wasn't bad in Mortal Kombat.
I didn't just, I met him a few times. One particular time I met him and I told him I know you. So we're talking a little bit, just very, very fast because it was some sign.
I'm still very good friends with him.
Yeah, this is maybe 10, 12, 15 years ago. And I said, can we get a photograph? And he goes, sure. And of course, I'm snapping for a photograph like this or whatever. So your friend is Sheldon, he puts his arm, grabs me, pulls me over, grabs me like this. It was okay, let's take a photograph. And he looks me. But it's not a me virtually, very easy.
Yeah, in all honesty, I remember watching Lionheart as a kid. Going, man, I wish JC and him would have been able to throw down. He get that little kick in the face, but it would have been nice to see those see through.
Well, they get it in the order.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I mean, in my heart, per se.
Right.
Yeah, so next up, Sheldon was the last Detroit.
Okay.
Did we miss anything with did we jump too far? Did we miss anything with
I was going to ask, Burger Target, what year was that?
Yeah, I think it's 95.
95.
Okay, more lands things, I believe.
And the last Mature, how did that come about? Was that a project that Dolph brought to you or someone brought to you, or how did that one come out?
I wrote a script with a friend of mine, named Bob Underwood. We wrote a script called Hell on Wheels. And it was basically about these military Jewish. Huh?
Yeah. Great title.
It's a great title.
It's a great title.
Right. And it was about dune buggies, military dune buggies thing. This is it was based on stuff that really happened. The Navy SEALs and Marine Recon used them in the first Gulf War. And they look like G.I. Joe toys, but they're real. They're basically dune buggies. And there's a driver and a gunner up front with He's got an M60 machine gun, the guy who's riding the shotgun. And then behind them, there's a guy with a 50 caliber or automatic grenade launcher. It looks like a G.I. Joe toy, but it's real. Yeah, Andrew went down and saw these things. Uh, so, so we wrote this project, Hell on Wheels, and a company called Largo was interested in it. They wanted to make it. They hooked me up with an Israeli producer named Jacob Kotsky. Jacob was one of the producers on Iron Eagle, and Iron Eagle 2. And he had a lot of connections in Israel. And we were going to shoot this thing in Israel with Jacob Kotsky. Um, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. It fell apart. So we're not doing Hell on Wheels now. So Jacob said he had money in Israel. He had access to helicopters and jeeps and all kinds of military stuff in Israel. And he and I hit it off very well. He really wanted to make a movie with me. And Jacob had produced a movie in Israel with Dolph Lundgren called Cover Up. So he knew Dolph personally. He was able to call Dolph on the phone and get him in his movie. So basically, Jacob put together this package, and he met a couple of writers who had a script called The Last Patrol. Hang on just a second here.
Cover Up was actually his excellent movie. Right, but I never swear I actually with Louis Gossett.
I mean, yeah.
Right, Louis Gossett Jr. Yeah, that's right. Going to be.
See, Jacob Kotsky knew all these people because Louis Gossett was in Iron Eagle and Iron Eagle 2. All he needed was a script. And I forgot what the reason was. There's some reason we couldn't do Hell on Wheels. And so he comes to me with this other script, which he said already had Dolph Lundgren attached, called Last Patrol. It's written by these two writers who've never written an action movie before. They're actually, they actually came from the world of soap operas. Okay? So they were pretty good at dialogue. They had some good dialogue in it. But this script was basically not an action movie. It had some good characters, some good dialogue. And there was a good role in there for Dolph, a good lead role for Dolph. So they got, Jacob got Dolph interested. He knew me, so he said, "Hey, Rick, I got the director of Double Impact wants to direct this." So they said that we had this whole package where he said, "I've got the money in Israel. I've got all the equipment, cameras, everything in Israel. I've got crew in Israel. We'll shoot this whole thing in Israel. Sheldon's going to direct, Dolph's going to star. We did some casting for a few of the American characters. Interestingly, the woman that we cast to play the female lead was named Sherry Alexander. Okay. Really good actress. Dolph got along great with her. I got along great with her. And she ended up, after we made the movie, she ended up marrying Michael Crichton. Who wrote Jurassic Park and Alabama to Spain and all the movies. And he got her pregnant. So she ended up having his child. But then Michael Crichton died. And so she was in line to inherit all of his millions of dollars, but his family tried to nix that so that she wouldn't get anything. So this turned into a big legal battle, which she partially won. So she's like Sherry Crichton nowadays. And she's not hurting for money at all. But that was our co-star of the film. So anyway, back to Last Patrol. So there were a number of problems here. First of all, Dolph and I didn't like the script. Neither one of us liked the script. And Dolph says to me, "You're going to rewrite it, of course." He is. Oh yeah, absolutely. Directors. I've written a few action movies myself, and Yeah, a few successful ones.
Yeah.
So I can handle it. Uh, and we get to Israel, and the two writers were also producers on the film. Pam Long and Steve Brackett are their names. And basically, Pam had a long career in soap operas, and the two of them wrote some TV show together that like didn't even last one season. But they were not action writers, which is okay. The dialogue was good. Um, so I get over to Israel, and like I promised Golf, I'm gonna rewrite this. So I get the script. With Jacob had a secretary there who typed the script up for me on like Microsoft Word or something. So I was starting to do a rewrite on it. And when Steve and Pam heard this, they said, "That's not happening. We're doing the script that we wrote. If Sheldon touches a word of our script, he's fired." Jesus. Yeah. Oh yeah. Basically they said he's fired if he touches a word. They thought that the script was superb. A lot of writers get like that. They don't touch a word of my screenplay. But I've had
A lot of people in all fields of like that.
yeah. But I've had a lot of my scripts rewritten by other people. Like I wrote the original Double Impact, and
Collaborative efforts make all the difference in the world, man. You've got to be able to open yourself up to collaborative efforts.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they wanted no rewriting on. So okay, I told Jacob, okay, so I brought my family over. But Jacob said, "Oh, you really like the kids." He met my wife, he met kids, he liked us. So they're always just, I'm already there. We've got our hotel room and everything. We got our driver. Um, so do I want to quit this and just go back to LA? No, we got Dolph Lundgren. I'll find a way to make it work. So I did what I could to make it work. But Jacob did not have nearly the money he claimed to have. So